Good morning, welcome to Headline Focus here live on Core Politics with me, Rob Double. It is Thursday, the 5th of October 2017, and with the time about 10 minutes before the start of the working day, let's get into what's making the news this morning. So, first up in the time, well, I should say actually there is really, as you can see in the papers there, only one big story coming through on the headlines. Let's hold on that though for a minute. Let's have a look at what else is on the side of the papers. In the Times, women who develop high blood pressure in their 40s are a significantly greater risk of dementia than men with the condition. This is according to a study by the University of California, trying to understand why dementia affects 50% more women than men. This is reflected in the UK as well. In the UK, two-thirds of the 850,000 dementia patients are female. Fascinating statistic, I had no idea about that. The report speculates, or rather concludes, that this could largely be down to cardiovascular problems taking a heavier toll on women than men. Next up is in the Mirror newspaper, organ donation change. Now, in Theresa May's conference speech, we'll come on to that in a sec for other reasons, but Theresa May proposed changing the law on organ donation, so towards an opt-out law, so people would be assumed to have to consent to having their organs donated after their death, unless they specifically wanted to opt out during their lifetime. This is something which hasn't really got into the papers today, but it's something which is quite significant for the average person in the UK. The Mirror is calling it a victory for their 2-year campaign to change the rules, saying it will be a victory for many people who are on the waiting list and who will die currently as a result of not receiving the correct organ donation before their time is up. Final story, well, sorry, not final story then. Let's look in focus then at the main story today, which we've put up the Sun and the Telegraph, which reflect quite well the key elements of why this is such a big story today. The Times has called Theresa May's conference speech as leader yesterday, the most shambolic conference in memory. Now, as you can see from these two pictures, there are two clear reasons why. The first up, if you have a look at the Sun, the actual signage behind Theresa May on the conference screen started to fall down during her speech, leaving a very sort of scattered wording, not really making any sense, which was rather comical. Secondly, as you can see in the Daily Telegraph, a prankster decided to approach Theresa May during her conference speech and give her a fake P45 form, which she actually quite gracefully took and tried to make a laugh out of. Another point as well is that she had a very big problem with coughing. She had a coughing fit during her speech, needing the Chancellor, Philip Hammond, to come up and give her a cough suite during her speech. People giving her standing ovations to give her time to recover from the speech. So a very odd speech, certainly with a lot of problems on it. The party chairman, Patrick McLoughlin, has taken a big rap for this from Conservative MPs. Not only over Theresa May's hectic schedule, which they say did not allow her to recover her voice from her trip to New York a few weeks ago, but also for the security of how a prankster managed to get into the conference and also managed to get that close to Theresa May during her big speech of the day. The speech in itself, sadly, hasn't got in the papers very much, but a few key points from that. She proposed £2 billion injection to fund what she said would be a new generation of council homes, an action to cap energy bills. And she also called for further expansion of free schools. Most papers have that in them somewhere, so pick up any really of the papers if you want to hear more about what she's proposing for her year coming as Prime Minister. Final story then comes from The Guardian, just down at the bottom, as you can see. The Catalan President Carlos Puigdemont said Catalans are united as never before over independence, but added he was disappointed by King Felipe's recent intervention in which he said those that organised the referendum, the illegal referendum, were operating outside the law. The Catalonian government is still planning to take the results of the referendum to the Catalan Parliament over the next few days to prepare for a declaration of independence. The momentum and the movement is still there. That's pretty much it for today. You're up to date. Don't forget you can find all the latest on what we're doing here on Core Politics on our Facebook page and on Twitter right there. But from me and all the team here at Core London, have a fantastic day.